Hi everybody! So, I've actually filmed this sketchbook tour several times in the past. Twice they have been ruined by a certain someone.
Blame her.
I will blame her because she walked across the sketchbook.
She just wants to be center of attention.
She is. And then another time I've tried to record it.
She also loves you.
This one has walked in.
She loves you.
I know they love me.
They want you to know that's what they do.
So, you kind of get a twofer for this one, because every time I've tried to record this one, I had fuzzy friends try to help me, and I just finished this one, so you get 2 sketchbook tours for the price of 1. So, this is my older one, and if I recall correctly, I believe I started this sketchbook back in March. It's either I started it in March or like February. I want to say it has to have been March or February, because I think this has my Snuppet sketches in it. Like, I want to say Snuppet is in here somewhere. Well, maybe it's not my Snuppet sketchbook. But I know this was the sketchbook I had right before. Yep, there's the Snuppet sketches. So yeah, this was the one I had when I was making the Snuppet. So that tells you roughly about how old it is. But this is the one I finished right before I had started this one. And this one I know that I started on July 28th because I actually marked that one. I'm trying to get into the habit of marking when my sketchbooks are from now, so I can time frame instead of just being, how long ago did I draw this? Speaking of, I'll show you, but I drew Mira's brother. Mordred. He is a
May I help you, ma'am?
She would like attention. As you said, she likes to be center of attention.
Yeah, well.
But anyway, so this one, I can't give detailed descriptions about what's exactly in it because it's been a couple months since I worked on this one. Some of them I could tell you what they are just by looking at them. So like this is thumbnails for Kai's comic. And this is her design, or at least this was a rough pass of her design. I ended up changing it for the start of the comic. This is Karis. She's the main character of a 5-chapter comic that I have in the works called Thought Forms. She can be. She does run around in a pleated skirt without anything underneath it, really. Well, she has her underwear on, but she doesn't wear shoes or anything. More Karis. Karis is a badass. I had bought 3 markers to test out a brand. I think they were their Hobby Lobby's brand of alcohol marker. So I bought 3 of them. So this was the first pass of the sketch. Look at my lovely goldfish. Look at him. Majestic. Then I resketched it. Obviously, I actually tried on the goldfish this time. He's a sad boy. So it was just a 3-color challenge in a sense, but it was mostly me testing out these brush pens. And I actually liked them, because the last time I bought an art store's generic brand of brush pen, they died after 2 uses, so... like, well, they didn't die, they still had ink, but the brush tip, like, split, and I was just like, this is useless to me. This was something I never finished. It was supposed to be Kai reaching for her husband's crucified corpse. This was back when I first got my Ohu markers, because I was testing them out, because I've never used that brand before, but I'd watched Drawing with Waffles, and she seems to like them, so I bought them to see if they're decent compared to my Copics and my Prisma, because I mostly use Prismacolor. So I just drew Kai, a Cyclops girl, and my mascot just being a potato rabbit. And they didn't bleed through very much, like Kai's hair did, but Kai's hair is like 3 layered to get the gradient she has. A mermaid. I had put a call out on Twitter. It was just like, suggest Pokemon to me and I'll draw them. And so these are a couple of the sketches. So we had a Gudra, Umbreon, and Espeon. I actually ended up turning this one into an acrylic charm that I keep meaning to put online, but I keep forgetting to because I can't get good pictures. Riolu. This is Waddles. She's right here. Hi, honey.
Well, I'm not thinking about that, honey.
But see, she got a little nubtail, and she's got a little resting bitch face. But there's our sleeping Waddles. Flareon, and I couldn't get it right because I kept like just trying to. Most of these Pokemon drawings are done from memory, so you can tell which ones I know better. Asmodee, Toxicity, amped mode. Hens you a snum. Hens you a snum. Hens you a snum. Snum. Nidoran, they hadn't specified, so I just drew both of them.
That is a high ass.
Krogonk's be like, hey,
I haven't gotten too much of the lily pads.
come sit next to me. We'll have a talk.
I'm good, thanks.
Me trying to draw the Galar starters from memory. I'm sorry, Grookey. I'm so sorry. And then a stupid boof on the bottom. Is it Grookey you're laughing at? I assume it's Grookey you're dying at.
He looks like fucking tree cow.
My otter, Pop, like, Pop's her name. She's an otter. Sailor Moon Loaf Cats, so it's Luna, Artemis, and Diana. Sailor Moon. This was just a random character design. His name's Jewel, and he's supposed to just be like some chaos deity who shifts between ages. And he likes to mess with people because, yes, he has the titty.
Good.
He's a god. Another mermaid. Less sexy than the last mermaid that we saw.
That's like me at 3 in the morning.
A Cyclops. The Cyclops, these are supposed to be for Monster March, and I remember that specifically, but I ended up just not doing it. So this was my first pass at the Cyclops idea I had. I wanted her looking at sheep. This was my second attempt at it, which I liked better, but I still never finished it, so beep beep on a sheep. This is my Black Dragon character, Lila. She basically is in control of a dungeon, and she's chasing down a guy who took some of her scales, and he's fucking shit up. And she's big old lesbian. She loved the queen of her country and burned the country to the ground when people killed her queen, so she was not a happy girl. A simp and his wife. The simpiest of simp. This is Reniculus and Kai. It would probably help if I stopped tilting the camera. I'm so sorry. This is Reniculus the Wise. He's an Archmage who's just very, very good at what he does, but he's also a manipulative bastard. This is Kai, the Demon King, who he simps 100% for. And he has died at least 10 times, and he keeps coming back, and he keeps finding his wife. Or sometimes she finds him, but she'll never instigate. He always instigates. But she's fine with that. Speaking of the bastard, this is one of the forms he comes back in as Catboy. He was not too happy about being a chubby cat. Well, technically, he came back as a cat girl. But he was just like, yeah, no, fuck this shit. I'm gonna get a potion of change, and I'm going back to my sexy self. He was not about it. Oh, speaking of Kai, here's more Kai. This is when she was about 50 years old. It was pretty soon before she turned into the Demon King. This was after she had been locked up and had her heart ripped out of her chest, and this was years and years and years later when she was a little more calmed down. Most Kai comics and stuff have to do with this version. These two are just purely backstory purposes. Speaking of backstory, this was how Ren and Kai met. She was chained up and he released her. This was supposed to be him putting his cloak on her, but clearly I was having issues with the pose. Hey look, even past me was being a little bit sassy about it. Kai with her holy sword, which some people might realize looks a lot like the cross she wears on her neck, and that is not coincidental.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Pretty much. Snuppet. This is when I was trying to figure out how Snuppet's head should be built, because I'd never built a puppet before I made him. But, yeah, that's my first ever puppet, guys. Yeah, it's taking up my entire cat tree. Snuppet. My current mood, it was Snuppet and Animal Crossing, because it was March. That tells you exactly when this was. This was a pass at Eclipse's werewolf form. It was supposed to be a more decayed skull version. She is now just Fluffy Pup. The original Dork in the Kitchen sketch. It's so funny to see how I've drawn this one so many times. I think it was just like, I think the half-drawn Hatties. Yep. The original layout for the Nightingale household that my sister likes to judge me for.
A house is a very loose term.
Oh, this was originally for a ask about kill count. I did end up redrawing this one completely from scratch on my laptop, but just DJ, Connie, Hattie, Eclipse, and Snatchy Snatch. Highest kill count. Tiny Scotsman. This is from a one-shot AU that's almost done being written. I think I'm at like 40-something pages right now. Actually, what is the page count on that? Red is the wolf. Which tab are you? Open. Tell me. What is the page count? It might be closer to 20, but I still have like 10 pages I need to do. Because I haven't even gotten to the part where they're bonding. Bonding. Well, they've been bonding, but I haven't gotten to the part where Vanessa tells him to chase her. Because he's stupid, or when she self-sacrifices, or when he has to chase her down in the woods. Okay, it looks like the page count's currently 24, but it's nowhere near done. Yeah, but basically she's slowly turning into a wolf, and she can take a full wolf form. If she interacts with people more often, she'll be more human, but she hates people, so you see where this is going. But then she meets a prince, and he's a weirdo. So, it's all fun. Curses. True love. Bam. Bunny and Steve, me being snarky, because everyone's always like, Steve is so dangerous, he's a shapeshifter. I'm like, no. It's the tiny one that is danger. Steve is dangerous, yes. Like, don't get me wrong, he's not an asshole, he's dangerous, but as long as he's not really hungry, he's actually pretty he's like, oh, what's the word I want?
Classic?
Yeah, it's just, like, he doesn't get into much. This I actually finished on my computer as well, because you can see where the rain got on it. But it was a talk about how, like, I have so many things going on in my head, and it's just like, that's just how my brain works. Inuyasha AU. So, I basically combines Sesshomaru and Inuyasha into Snatcher, and then eclipses Kagome, and it's funny. It's great. He's an asshole. This is Steve before he was a shapeshifter. Yeah, that's really all there is to it. I just wanted to draw him before he became Steve.
Steven!
Perspective practice. I was just screwing around. Also, I know these are really hard to kind of see, and that's because that's the kind of marker I sketch in now. I kind of went from drawing in pencil, like at the start you could saw I draw in pencil, and then I slowly started just using pen and stuff like that. Just because I liked how it looked, and it's a lot easier and less smudgy. Also, I don't need to think about pencil lead. But this is for my Lawbound AU, where basically Hattie summoned Snatcher with a Ouija board, broke the Ouija board, and now he's stuck in their house. But I messed up the pose a little bit, so I actually fixed it on the next page, and they're holding hands, and it's cute. He's got his hand on her shoulder, and everyone's happy. And don't worry, it has a happy ending. He's not actually dead. Or is he?
He's not.
This one I posted on Tumblr. It's just Eclipse wearing Prince's outfit. And then Prince in the distance is just going, where did you find that? Why does it look good? But I just wanted to draw Eclipse in Prince's outfit because I thought it'd be cute. And this drawing, I sent it to my server, and then my server's like, you should draw Princess Eclipse, so here's Eclipse as a princess. These ones, I think I drew them all at work. My Undertale AU, so Snaps to Bluke and Uneclipse, just being cute boyfriend-girlfriends. And then he went off and became a ghost, and her brother's a dick, so he couldn't talk to her, and then she had to find him herself with the fallen child. And it was great, and then he instantly swapped sides because simp! I swear I write him properly, I do. It's just fun to call him a simp, and so does my server.
He's a simp.
Yeah, but yeah. This is from another AU that's actually not been posted publicly. I call it my familiar AU. I don't think I've posted anything about familiar AU online. I think this is one I've only written and I haven't talked about. Yeah. But basically she saved a dragon's child when she was little, and the dragon's child ends up becoming her familiar, and then he actually turns out to be human, and it's lots of fun. Well, he's not human, he's a dragon, but he can take human form. She left a while though. Frilled Snatcher, because the thought wouldn't leave my brain. Look at him, he's like an umbrella. And then I messed up drawing slightly Prince Snatcher. His face is like shifting all over. Baby Eclipse. This one actually ended up getting finished as a collab between me and my friend Mouse. And then just babies doing a blep together. Look at baby Prince. He was so pure before he became a buzzard.
Before you rubbed your rubby little hands all over him?
No. No. He's always buzzard.
No.
More frilled snatcher, but now with Eclipse. And Matthew, the mafia man. I told you not to kill them first. I only knocked him out. Oh. Eclipse had a bad habit when she first moved to the forest of when she was trying to gather souls for snatchers, she kept killing them.
He wanted the souls.
I will kiss the Demon King. Kai has two mouths, and they can open simultaneously, and it never makes...
He'll kiss both of them.
Yeah, he will. Look at this naked cat boy. Look at him. Chubby little bee. Because they just woke up. He doesn't sleep in anything but... Yeah, he just straight up doesn't sleep in anything. Ren's a bit of a nudist.
A bit?
He's got fur from the waist down. He doesn't really need pants. He has a cat dick. Anyway, I just wanted to draw Kai with her mouth open. This one's on Tumblr, and it's one of my most, like, reblogged and liked posts. Cute you. I just wanted to draw him moving his head and his... Shapeshifter. Senna. Eclipse. Kraft sees the moon booty. Kraft will be going in for that spooky spooky. My necromancer and her zombie girlfriend. So it's Tax and Riley. Riley has a bad habit of losing her body parts. Even though Tax secures them, Riley still messes up somehow. Just another mermaid. Yes, I know, I have quite a few mermaids. Steve as a merman thing, more like just Eldritch horror in general. I just felt like drawing him all creepy. Have you seen this one yet?
Yeah.
Creepy Steve. These were drawn by Spud, if not evident. Is Spud.
I forgot about those.
And then my cat's paw prints and a note.
Spud do it.
I don't know, you drew it! But that is that sketchbook. So this is the sketchbook that is my most recent one, and I can't believe I'm already at 17 minutes from talking about one sketchbook. But hey, here we are. This is why I never do sketchbook tours. They're really freaking long. Because I draw too much. But this is the one I started in July, so obviously July 28th, 2020, and I just finished it today, so. So like my first drawing, I just drew my mascot in the brewing hat from A Hat in Time, because that's become a thing I've been doing lately, is drawing it with the brewing hat, because it's hilarious. Kai, when she adopted her son Ganon, she just kind of found this decimated village, found this one survivor, and it's just like, I'm its mom now!
Great.
And she killed one of her generals because he argued with her. Ganon when he's older, and his older sister Artemis. How do you lose Mom? Oops.
Where's Mom?
You can see where his arm got reattached. You can also see his mastectomy scars from his transition. But Ganon is an orc. Oh look, it's the simp again, and he's literally calling himself a simp in this one. If my wife wasn't so hot, I'd stop simping. Stop wording it like that. Nope.
Stop being hot.
More of the cheeky bastard. I just like drawing Ren when he's not a shit-eating cat boy. He's just a shit-eating person.
He's just a cheeky bastard.
This is an unfinished sketch from another AU that I wrote specifically because one of my friends asked about it. So it's a AU where basically Aurelius is the werewolf first, and he turned Eclipse into a werewolf, and she's the alpha, and she's angry, and she's tiny. I put a thing on Tumblr, and I was just like, give me your favorite Hat in Time characters, I'm gonna draw them, because I wanted to fill up my sketchbook, and I knew I was gonna get a bunch of Snatchers, so I just drew a Snatcher preemptively. Cooking Cat, the Prince, obviously I know how to draw the Prince. These are all done from memory as well, so, Prince.
The Mafia Man.
Yes, this is the one with the Mafia Man. The goats. The conductor. I kind of cheated on this one because I had just been looking at a reference of him for something else. Empress. I can't remember what I was drawing with this. Just someone standing to the side. These are my time traveler OCs, Jack and his sister Jade. I remembered them when I was doing something else. I was just like, you know, I should draw that asshole again. They time travel with pocket watches given to them by the witch Briar. And that's totally not going to come up in Moon Guardian at all.
No.
Trying to draw Karis a little less toony and more in my normal style. There's your Mafia Man. Mafia Man, Bush Cat. I did end up finishing this horrible, horrible Bush Cat. I'm sorry, Rough Patch. I love you. I swear I love you, Rough Patch. But I drew Mafia Man's shoulders far too wide, and so I was drawing this to kind of show my sister how they actually tend to be shaped body-wise, and it's hilarious. Karis, once again, just drawn in a more serious style, which I actually do like how she came out. Redacted. If you follow my channel, you might have seen her in my SCP videos. She's the scientist I'll draw, but she's redacted. She's something. She's also sometimes called the librarian, or I just use question marks for her name. But most of the time, if I'm verbally talking about her, I call her redacted. A bunch of eye creatures. These were based off of sketches from the original design I had for Bunny, so I just like drew a bunch of them. A hot dog snake thing, corgi. It's also from the original sketches of Bunny. He was very sad and floppy. A snake dog is also from the original sketches of Bunny. She used to be a weird animal caretaker before she became the murderous taxidermist we know and love. Whether or not they'll come back up in Bone Stealer, we'll find out, but for now they're just doodles. They're probably Redacted's pets, Kai being weird. Yeah. This is from the 3ZAU I have in my Discord server. This is Caesar's shadow form. He's based off of Snatcher, that's the joke, and his name is Snatcher as a shadow, because he's stuck to his sister. There's a whole can of worms to be opened with this dude.
Tony will open them all.
Speaking of Tony, here's his boyfriend. And yes, he's based off of the Gender Bent Eclipse. His name is the Vatican Werewolf, and his quirk is Werewolf. Speaking of werewolves, there's Eclipse as a werewolf, and she's just begging with a little blip. Winged AU. Snatcher's got demon wings, Eclipse has her angel wings, and this also inspired a one-shot Broken Doll AU that I started writing for. Ice Wolf, it's if Eclipse ended up with Vanessa instead of Snatcher. Because that's an option, and I'm a lesbian.
Thank you.
You're welcome. This is from a Snake Prince AU. It's based off of one of my favorite fairy tales. I think I have it like 80% written. I don't know. I'd have to double check. It's either like 70 or 80% written. But basically, Aurelius is a prince who was cursed to be a snake, and only by the blood of the family that cursed him can he be returned to human form. He gets really, really lucky that the last descendant happens to be a really nice girl, and found him bleeding in the woods after his fiancé beat him up and tied him in his inner basement. This is basically, I'd messed up the first drawing of him over her shoulder and I was redrawing it. Verheisen has many doors, bitch boy. Senna tormenting Snatcher because Senna hates him with a burning passion. Senna is one of my 3 moon jumpers that I have.
You realize you have 3 moon jumpers?
I want you to know, I think of that joke every time I draw one of my moon jumper boys. But this is Senna. He's a dick.
No.
Speaking of Senna, here he is getting his ass chewed on by Bakapom, and then his husband's just being like, well, it's going on TikTok. But
that booty, swoogity.
Yeah, just humanoid Senna, and like I said, it's Bakugo as a Pomeranian from Shenanigans in the server. And Craft's not helping, Craft is just videotaping. And then the repercussions is Bakugo got himself choked out. Kai, done in a golden Sharpie, messed with her demon form a little bit to kind of resemble her father, who is a sun god, who is in the end of the sketchbook. Snatcher, being a fucking cold-ass boy. He's cold, he is so cold-blooded. He has
Hey Elsa, moving on.
He needs to get the cuddles. That's his reason for cuddles, he's cold.
Oh. Yeah.
Yes.
Not the tits and ass of a god.
Yep.
Sure. Cuddles.
It is cuddles. This is Marcus, aka Senna after he stole Snatcher's body. He gets a little bit of a personality swap because he had both Senna's asshole personality, but also Prince's, like, docile personality, like, mixing together, and he gets soft boy. Body snatching is bad, kids. No shit.
What you got there?
Your body.
What you got there?
My Time Witch. Well, no, Belle is the Space Witch. Her sister Briar is the Time Witch. But this is Belle. She runs a shop. This was supposed to be... This is supposed to be Bunny covered in skulls, and I never finished it. Bunny as a teenager, she was in a rock band. A bird skull. This was based on a real event with the maintenance guy at my work. Someone accidentally flushed a pen in one of the toilets, and it broke, and I just found it the weirdest thing. Like, how do you not notice that? How do you not notice you dropped an entire pen? Another one of my moon boys, this is Twyla. He's Senna's twin, and he's the biggest dick in the world. In TLC, this is Morgan. This is essentially the Moon Guardian version of Morgan. More Marcus and Aurelius. I had no idea bodies sucked. I will kill you. Why are they wearing modern clothing? I felt like it. Spud drew a Spud, but it's Ren when he's teaching because he's Hattie's science teacher. And Threads, weird. Wonder what he's doing with those.
God, you're just so...
Three Idiots in the Woods. Snatcher, Kai, Marcus / Senna.
The 3 idiots, man, have a brain cell between them.
Alright, but Teenage Kai had a brain cell, she was just baby.
The economy is shambles.
But basically she was fixing the pocket watch that Snatcher had been given by Eclipse. Little contractor stuff, because I just wanted to draw them being cute. It's a family. Look at them. Sometimes a family is a giant sea merman, his werewolf wife, and their tiny dimensional hopping child. Well, she doesn't hop dimension, she just hopped a dimension with help. This one never got posted, but it's just Rue crocheting.
She was yeeted.
She was carried gently. She was cradled. This is just Rue crocheting. This is just Conductor saying that he cannot marry his daughter, and then getting mad because he doesn't want to marry his daughter, and he thinks that what, you don't think she's wife material? This was a Spud joke. What, you think she's not wife material? I want you to know I did another version of this. Steve is a bedsheet ghost, and Buddy is just as Jason. Bunny with a weird deer, a not deer as we call them, just butchin'. This is Kai's father, Solgaria. He's the sun god and Mother Moon's brother. He's kind of a himbo. He's the god of, like, unions and daylight and stuff like that. He normally has eyes on his wings, I just didn't draw them in. But, basically, he's a very proud dad. Moon, look what I made! This is a baby Kai. What the fuck? He was so proud to have a baby.
Not going according to...
Too bad his sister's a little bit of a bitch and kind of instigated, so he ended up getting killed by his own little crotch spawn. This was just Eclipse with their long ears. Mimiclips. I ended up actually deciding I'm not going to use this idea. It was originally for the Pokemon AU Darkrai's Wish. Originally, Arceus was going to be a real bitch, and he was going to turn Eclipse into a Mimikyu that was slowly losing her memories of being human the longer she was a Mimikyu. But I ended up thinking it was too angsty, so even though I did write it, it is completely...
too angsty?
I thought it was too angsty, so I ended up actually ditching this idea for the actual fic, so this isn't going to show up, but it was still fun to draw, and I like how it came out. These are all from this morning of me trying to fill up my sketchbook to finish. So this was Hat Kid was asking Eclipse what she thinks of Snatcher, and she just very bluntly, I love him! And she had, hi Waddles. She has no idea Snatcher's right behind her, and he was just coming to ask something, and now he's got the blushies. Yeah. Snatcher crocheting a scarf for Eclipse because she lost her red one and he doesn't like her at all, but he's gonna definitely crochet her a scarf, and he even went to the Conductor to learn how to crochet. And he's so focused he doesn't even notice he's turning into his prince form because he's that fucking focused. Also Blep. I love Bleps. I was watching custom maps this morning while I was drawing, and apparently you can scooter on the tightropes, and there is something about that. And yes,
Stupidest thing to do, but his 110% Hattie would be like, yes.
she's definitely flipping off because it was just like the stupidest fucking thing. It was just like, okay. Speaking of, remember I said I did it again? I adopted the lassie, you cannot marry her! What? Conductor, now. Basically, he was like, you know, if you're family, I can get away with way more things legally.
No, conductor.
But he also just wanted to adopt her so he can threaten Snatcher that he can't marry her. Because it's funny to him. But Snatcher's just like, what? And I did write an entire fic for this. Just Kai. And not her normal dark outfits. I didn't draw her scars on her, though. Drew her facial markings. Me sitting at my laptop, probably writing angst.
Probably.
This is Mira and her brother Mordred. Look at the family! So I had a horrible thought, though, when I was drawing Mordred, and I was looking at his eyes that are diamonds, and the way his head is shaped, my brain just went, deformed Kermit. Like, he looks like Kermit the Frog gone wrong. But anyway, just happy, fun family times. Nothing weird here.
You liar?
What? It's not like Mordred's gonna gain control over Mira and turn her into his personal knight. No,
Can you just, like, for 5 minutes, just stop. Just stop.
No.
No.
And then the last page of the sketchbook. Don't do drugs!
Thank you.
I couldn't
Do drugs.
I couldn't think of what to draw on the last page, so I just
Do drug PSA.
so I drew the rabbit laying like one of your French girls just don't do drugs.
Thank you.
Drugs are bad.
Thank you.
But anyway. 2 sketchbooks later, that's my sketchbook tour. Those are the last 2 sketchbooks I had, and I've already started on the 3rd. Also, if you can't tell, I have a bias towards type of sketchbook.
No.
Like, even, this is my sketchbook. This is actually the sketchbook that came right before this one. And I know this one came before this one, because this one had all of my Inktober stuff in it. But I know this one's from last year. Yeah, this one started in June last year, and then I think... Also, look how badly I drew this wolf. Look at this wolf. Compared to how I draw wolves now, like, a year can... Like,
you came out of Alpha and Omega.
Please don't. Look, there's Karish, there's Tish, there's Belle, and there's Kai, and Blueberry. But this was the sketchbook I had beforehand. Oh, there's not a lot of pencil in this one, too. I was also doing a lot of pen sketches in this one. Weird. I swapped back to pencil slightly in this one, and then I went right back to just not using pencil.
But I've had enough of pencil.
Pretty much. Relationship with pencil ended.
Highlighter is my new best friend.
Pretty much. But this was my sketchbook before. So if you can't tell, I really like Canson sketch pads, and I always get this size specifically because it fits in my work bag really well. I mean, I do have other sized ones, so, like, I know I have a sketchbook over here, and yes, I have a lot of sketchbooks. I draw a lot traditionally, but, like, this is, I do draw in slightly larger size sometimes, but not very often. This one's actually not finished. I was playing with washi tape and stuff. My sketchbooks are a disaster zone. Hey, look, there's Belle again. I like Belle is just, like... Bella's in all of these sketchbooks, and I don't even work on her story that much, but she's somehow in every one of these sketchbooks. Like, Belle, what? I mean, I know you're a space dimension witch, but come on, Belle. Oh, look, there's a Kai.
What is that?
Also, look how fat this rabbit is. Alright, so, you're laughing, and I know you're laughing, but I want you to know this is actually a yokai.
No, I believe that 110%.
Yeah, there's actually a yokai where it's like a woman's head on just a snake's body.
I believe that. There's also an old man in Mongol, but here we are.
Yeah, but that's what that is. Yeah, I think this buff merman is the last one I drew. Funny enough, I know exactly which character this merman is. This is Lucian. Nice. But yeah, so I like Hanson sketch bags. The paper's nice, but yeah. this is the sketchbook I'm starting now, and let's see how long it'll end. And I did start it off similar to I had started the last one with the rabbit drawn in a Sharpie. But yeah. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully. Bye bye.